Hi everybody. I hope this video finds you all well and in good spirits. Thank you for your well wishes. I'm out of the hospital and at home, but I want to give you all some valuable advice today. I started feeling odd and sickish about 2 weeks ago. Nothing I could put my finger on except for a dodgy stomach. I had body aches, then my leg, then my neck, then my shoulder, my ankles, my feet, and I was exceptionally tired. I would actually fall asleep behind my laptop. Totally not me. Then last week, my dodgy stomach turned into more than a dodgy stomach. On the second day of spending more time on the loo than out of it, we got gastron tablets to stop it. Well, it worked once and not again. By Thursday night, I had spent most of the day in bed and then the nausea came. I got up to go to the bathroom and passed out, hitting my head on the edge of the fireplace. I was then rushed to hospital and the rest is history. It appears that I may have Crohn's disease. It still needs to be confirmed with a colonoscopy and a gastroscope, but that is what I'm being treated for at the moment. It is pure and utter hell, and I'm a tough cookie. Until the cortisone and gastron tablets kick in at about 9 a.m., I'm crying like a baby. Not only the runs, but the pain. The pain starts in my stomach, but eventually even my ankles are sore. I had 3 hours of that this morning. Lovely, isn't it? And if it is Crohn's, then I can look forward to that until we find the right treatment for me. Moral of the story is do not try and be tough. I knew something was wrong, but I thought I'd treat the symptoms and hope it will go away. Well, it didn't. And waiting to see a professional, a doctor, made it all worse. Had I gone 2 weeks ago, the tests could have been booked on an outpatient basis. I could have had the right medication already, but now instead, until the information works itself out, I shall likely have these episodes once or twice per day, and it is excruciating. But anyway, I am seeing the specialist tomorrow to schedule the gastroscope and colonoscopy. So there is that. So don't be a bookworm. If you know something is not right, get help or get advice. Don't try and be tough. And don't think you are more clever than a person who studied years to become a doctor or specialist. Get help. Anyway, today's episode is over, and the 3 hours of living hell obviously leaves me drained. But I need the distraction of talking to you, taking my mind off myself, and thinking of things other than my own woes. And of course, the royals are the perfect distraction. They are indeed the gift that just keeps giving. So where to start? During the times that I had breaks from these flare-ups, all I could do was read. So I watched videos upon videos and read newspapers and magazines till late at night. So now, once again, I guess I can call myself a royal expert. And today I'm going to run through everything I read or some of the stuff I read, and I'll give you my opinion and what I think is happening and what I think will happen in the future. And I'll do it little by little. What I can't finish today, we'll deal with tomorrow. I watched Lady C while in hospital, and the story she told about the Getty family being concerned about Meghan Markle hanging around Gordon Getty. So, although we expected something from Meghan soon, some stunt or some new man, and look, we have to remember Meghan's pattern. You always upgrade, you don't downgrade. And then we also know that Meghan bases her value system on what use someone can be to her, and then, of course, money, not love, not emotion, not family. So it is not out of the realm of possibility that Meghan has or could have set her sights on the 89-year-old Gordon Getty. So let's dissect a little and let's see what we can come up with. They say past behavior is best predictor of future behavior. And looking at Meghan's pattern, she has shown that each time a situation is not working out for her, say like when her tenure at Suits was coming to an end, the first thing she does is to go manhunting that guy who can give her what she wants or needs at the time. Trevor Ingleson, for instance, was a beginner film producer director, and from him she wanted a few roles. She nagged and nagged and nagged and got one or two cameo roles, but of course that wasn't good enough for her. So she eventually landed herself into Suits, had a fling with one of the producers and one of the main actors, and once that role was secured, she needed to market herself. So then it was straight off to Soho House, and people like Marcus Anderson and whomever he could introduce her to. Yes, there were the Mulroneys, the Trudeaus, Misha Nunu, and so on. And let's not forget the celebrity chef, Corey Vitiello. Oh, we're having a thunderstorm. Anyway, at the time, Corey had just won a competition, and with his shy looks and good food, he certainly was a celebrity favorite, man of the hour. But there was also only so much Corey could do for her once she realized Suits would not last forever. So, what did she do? She took herself back off to Soho, this time in London, where the hunt started for a rich British man. Now, why British? I think, firstly, the pound is stronger than the dollar, and a British man can do as much with £1 million as an American can do with, say, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 million. So you got a little bit more value for money. And secondly, a rich British man was also more likely to marry a mixed race American than a rich American would, particularly if he came from the South, etc. And in particular, if she, like Harvey Weinstein said, is a rather ordinary looking girl. But for the British, she would be exotic. Anyway, but as we know, her stalking and friendships she made with Misha Nunu and Violet von Westenholz and Lizzie Gundy was all geared towards only one thing, to meet the very rich Mr. Right. And of course, as she was introduced to Eugenie as well, I'm sure she sowed that seed early that he could be the ultimate price. And who am I talking about? Of course, old Harry. We know there was a failed introduction in Istanbul in 2015. I told you that. People bring it up as something they've just discovered, but I told you that about 2 years ago in a very, very old video. But Meghan does not give up, so regardless of the fact that that introduction failed, she hightailed it to London and tried again. But Harry had a few beers with buddies and chucked out early because he was leaving for some trip. So finally, Meghan and Violet managed to set up that date at Soho House, 76 Dean Street, and the rest is history. But now is Harry has been actually enough for Meghan? No, because Meghan is a narcissist and nothing will ever be enough. So the question is, how does she step up from a British prince? Harold has been provided her with the title and the status, but not the money she expected. So she needs to find a man who can supply the money, and who better than an 89-year-old Gordon Getty. Now, there are 2 or 3 directions she can go in her approach. She can go the romantic, sad victim. Oh, I need help. I'm a mommy with 2 babies, and my husband has just planted targets on our backs when he spoke about the number of Taliban he killed. I'm on the floor crying from my left eye, not knowing what to do or where to go. Or she can go the sex route. I'll make you a happy man if you line my palm. Or she could perhaps concoct a business partnership. But what? Does she want to interview Mr. Gordon Getty for her podcast? Is she asking him to sponsor the podcast? Or is she into a completely different venture and she wants him to invest in it? Or has she brought her Archwell Foundation portfolio and wants him to donate to one of the charitable causes? Who knows? But in Meghan's case, it does not even matter, because whatever it is, you can bet Meghan has an ulterior motive, a way in which she herself can benefit. Questions like, why Gordon Getty? How did she even get to him or think about him? So, with those questions in mind, I did a quick deep dive. The Gettys are no strangers to royalty, but before I explain, let me explain the Gettys a little to you, but starting with Gordon Getty and just making a few detours, okay? Now, Gordon Getty was married to Anne Gilbert Getty, and they had 4 boys. But he had an entire second family with a lady called Cynthia Beck, with whom he had 3 daughters. So, all in all, he had 7 children. 2 of his sons died. Andrew Rourke Getty died as an infant, and John Gilbert Getty passed in 2020. So he still has Gordon Peter, William Paul, and the 3 girls, Sarah, Kendall, and Nicolette. But there is yet another arm of the Getty family you will find intriguing. Well, billionaire Joseph Getty married girlfriend Sabine Gaynham at the Basilica of the 12 Apostles in Rome. And guess who was on the guest list? None other than Princess Beatrice. Yes, indeed. Princess Beatrice attended the wedding in a pastel pink dress. Then there is Christopher Ronald Getty, who is married to Pia Miller, who is the sister of Marie Chantal, Crown Princess of Greece. Okay? And then there is August Getty, who is a fashion designer to names like Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, and many others. And remember, Meghan had Paris Hilton on her podcast not so long ago. So the Gettys are indeed no strangers to royalty and royal families, etc. But Sabine Getty is apparently not a big fan of Meghan and her prince. For someone like Meghan, that would serve as a bit of a blow to her ego and PR, as the 38-year-old Sabine is indeed a jewelry designer, a socialite, and contributing editor at Tatler. Just the kind of qualifications for someone Meghan could use. But Sabine is not impressed with Meghan and Harry, And on the screen are samples of her comments on the Netflix series as she posted it on Instagram. In her attempt to sit through the series, she dubbed it a course on narcissism. So I can very well imagine that Meghan would, out of pure spite towards Sabine, try and broker a deal or a friendship with Sabine's uncle-in-law. Of course, she could have gotten the introduction or the idea from Beatrice or Eugenie, but then we know Meghan doesn't need much of an introduction. She's not afraid to push herself to the front or do some cold calling. I sincerely believe that it is all indeed true, and Meghan is worming her way in, allegedly renting boardrooms or conference rooms at the Beverly Hills Hotel where Gordon Getty resides. Allegedly, she rents these conference rooms for herself and Gordon to meet so that if the family ever challenges her in court, she can just say it was all business. Well, regardless of this, what I would call a charade, I do not blame the Gettys one little bit for their discomfort. Gordon is, after all, a vulnerable 89-year-old and widowed for only just over 2 years, and being known as a very generous man. Currently worth about $2 billion, the family fear that Meghan is playing his generous nature with stories of security fears, etc., and they are concerned that she may walk away with a large sum of money. Well, my dears, I can't understand why they even wondering or guessing or fearing it without a shadow of a doubt. She is there talking to Gordon in order to walk away with a sweet pay packet. Even if the payment was solicited for, say, for instance, the Archwell Foundation, we all know they pocket about 95% and spend only about 5% on charity. I honestly believe the Gettys have good reason to be concerned, and if it was at all in their power, they should step in and somehow break up this blossoming friendship. As they say, prevention is better than cure. Okay, guys, to be quite honest, I'm doing what I can to make it up to you. I'm still rather jittery, rather tired, but please know that I'm keeping an ear to the ground. I'm keeping in close contact with all my contacts, and I'm having a look online as to what you all guys are getting up to. But I'll try and catch up and be on here as much as I can, touch on the latest news, and so on and so on. But for now, that's it from me, and until we meet on the next one, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.